Good morning, Breakfast Club. Welcome, Mark. Good morning.
Morning, Joe. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, I hope everybody's having a good day. We're having a great day here, and we're just those new people for people that come to the Breakfast Club that go listen to the recordings. This is an 18 to 20-year-old club. And the purpose was to bring like-minded entrepreneurs together to discuss money-making strategies. That's what the Breakfast Club was started for. It was initially for people from all walks of life, different home business companies, people from standard companies. We talked about various things that created an income in your business. One of the things that for us is significant is communication, understanding what it is that you need to do and communicating that message to the audience. And that's called marketing. Marketing is what you do to get your information in front of people. You have billboards, signs, radios, word of mouth, newspapers, telephones, everything. Texts, broadcasts, all that, all those procedures are all about putting your message in front of someone to locate the interested party. I don't care what business you're in. McDonald's, that's what they do. That's what their billboards and radio and TV advertisements are all about. It's to find out, are you an audience? It's not to change your thinking. If you don't like McDonald's, chances are you're not going to pay attention to that. It's not designed for that unless they throw a new product at you or an old one that you used to like. What it's designed to do is keep their message in front of the listeners who like to listen. That's what a database is all about. It's about developing, it's about a group of people that want to hear your message all the time, that are linked to you. That's why companies ask you to give them their email address when you go into a store. If some of them will say, okay, well, would you like to be on our mailing list? That's because obviously you're a fan of the place that you're frequenting and they'd like to keep you informed. And I get those all the time. I'm sure you do too, Mark, right?
Definitely, all the time.
I get emails all the time from companies I don't even shop at anymore. Once in a while, I will. When they might throw something at me. And this is a big time of year now for marketing because we're getting close to the holidays. You're going to start seeing if you haven't already, people Christmas shopping. You're shopping for Thanksgiving stuff, so the food companies will be targeting you. Halloween. But the key is in marketing and making a decision on how you're going to tell your audience what it is that you do. And then, of course, it's what do you do? And I believe, Mark, that most people don't know what they do. You can't describe what it is that they do in their business. Most people would tell you that they are with a company that has gold in small increments, or they have a nutritional product that you drink and get healthy, or whatever it is, that whatever company you're in. Most people will do that. And then before you know it, they're in a discussion telling them all about their business. I watched someone not long ago while I was shopping, someone from Karatbars, talk to the fellow at the register for 15 minutes, pulling out his card. I could see that the cashier or the person in that department had no interest whatsoever in what this person was doing. But yet they continued. I didn't hear one question. I tried to stay at a distance because I really didn't want to be involved. But happened to do it. On and on and on about the economy and gold, and here's our company, and look, there's nothing wrong with pulling out your card. But what do you do afterwards when you pull the card? Are you in a position to sit down and make a presentation to say, this is what I'm looking for? And what is it that you're looking for? Are you looking for this person to be your customer and purchase gold or your product? Or are you looking for that person to maybe help you market, set up another location, create transactions Not going to get paid without transactions, obviously. But that's not marketing. That's, I'll use the word roughly, is throwing up all over somebody who doesn't even want to listen. The way you do that is get the appointment with that person if they are interested in either managing a business from home or wanting to hear about how to purchase gold at a better rate. Then you set an appointment and get the right environment, and chances are, you can sit down with that person and discuss and take, the time to present what it is you want to present. But Mark and I talked about this yesterday. Most people don't know how to do that. And I know Mark loves to be outside. He loves to go to places where he visits people and finds the interested party. I do too. I just don't get out of the house as often. Otherwise, what you are left with is buying leads of people or going through your list, using a chicken list or using a memory jogger. It's a good way to start, and start finding people that you need to talk to present your information to. But it is an extremely rare talent to be able to stand there live in front of someone outside, maybe while you're shopping or where you're visiting somewhere. Maybe you're in a restaurant. You'd really like to tell the waiter or waitress about the information, and you think it's a good fit because maybe they're outgoing and they might be good for you, and your brain starts to go in a direction it shouldn't go in, which is, oh my gosh, I'm just going to tell this person and they need to. And all of a sudden you're trapped in telling all about your business. So there's an art to it. There's an art to getting the appointment. Actually, I have an appointment tomorrow with someone. Same thing happened. Met them outside, 2 seconds, handed them a number, and they called me. But again, there's an art to it. So for those of you, I think everyone, Mark, should learn to do what you do. I think everybody goes out of the house at some point, and you do run into people. And most people will sit there and they will say, I wish I'd talked to that person, or I'd like to talk to that person, or they might be a good fit. If you're thinking about your business and thinking about growing your business, then that's what you think about when you've talked to somebody. The question is, do you really know how to do it? Do you know how to put your information in front of them? Look, what's going to motivate that person is curiosity, because that's one of the key elements of getting the information and getting an appointment. People are motivated by friendship, curiosity, need, and greed. And what's going to, in our industry, what is going to attract that person and enable them to sit down with you is curiosity. So the more you tell them, the less they're going to sit with you. But there's an art to it. You don't just say, I'm not going to tell you. Let's sit down first. There's a way to do it. And this is where, over the years, we've heard people say, you got to bond with people. You learn how to bond. You learn how to, talk to them and, well, let's use the word again, bond with them. Well, that is so wrong in a cold market. You don't want to be bonding on the telephone with somebody you don't even know, hoping it's the right person. So that doesn't work. And so I don't care what anybody tells you. You don't bond and start asking personal questions on a telephone conversation where you have a lead list or people that, from leads that you've purchased somewhere or developed over the years. You don't start developing a bond with them and start to get personal with them, because people know what that's all about. It's about being nice to them and then getting them to, listen to you. That's not what that's about. You don't do that on a cold market. But you do it out. You learn how to do that effectively outside. You can't be at a supermarket and meet somebody you think is, a candidate for you and just hand them your number and walk away and say, call me. There has to be some dialogue. So the question is how you do it. How do you actually do that? How do you stand there? And I think it's important. I think it's an extremely important process, Mark, that everybody should learn. So I wanted to lead with that and turn this over to you, Mark, because Mark is the master at talking to people outside. He knows what he wants to say. He knows how he wants to say it, and he knows his objective. It's not to sit down with him right there on the spot and say, come on, let me pull out a portfolio and show you what I'm talking about. That person's not even ready for that. But it is about bonding a little bit, finding out a little bit about him. Are you happy here at your job? You know, how long have you been at this job? No kidding. Huh. And then Mark will ask him a couple of questions. So anyway, I'm going to turn this over to you, Mark, and we'll just get some education here on what it is you do how do you talk to people? What do you say to them outside? And this is, I think everybody has to learn this. They have to learn how to talk, period, through the communication class, learn that. But they just have to learn how to turn that spigot on that doesn't pour it out all over them, and yet you have a chance to sit down with them and discuss the business with them at some point. So over to you, man.
Okay, thanks, John. Getting an echo in a minute. We've got about 15 more minutes now. What I want everybody to think about is think about your marketing, because you know there's two types of marketing too. You have online and you have offline. So some people like one or the other, some like both. I prefer the offline, but I still do online marketing. And what I do is I develop, you know, if I'm doing online, I develop my own emails and send them out. And, you know, they do get responses. And on the outside, it's a little different, which I will get into in more detail. But the thing that I want to say is that you have to determine which one that you want to do. And you have to know how to do it because, again, as Joe said earlier, marketing is what you do to get your information in front of people. It's not designed per se to sell them, but to get the information. And that's what they need. In other words, people need information as to how they're going to proceed. And you don't, as Joe said, you don't do that by throwing up on them. As soon as you see somebody or meet somebody, you jump on them. And I want to talk to you about, you know, we got this gold program and it's the best in the world and we're in 150 countries and like that. That's not the way to do it. So number one, you have to determine which way you want to do it. And then the second important thing is that you have to know how to do it, which means what? You have to know how to communicate and connect with the person that you want to tell about your business. So, and one thing that you have to understand is that if you go to somebody, if you meet them and you jump right on them and start trying to sell them gold or whatever, all you're going to do is push them away. First of all, most people don't like to be sold. As most of you know, or some of you know, my background for the last 40 years is financial planning. But if you talk to a client of mine, they would tell you that Mark Stevens never sold me anything. What he did, he educated me, and then I decided what I wanted to do. So it's not about selling, but it's about educating and it's about communicating. But if you don't know how to communicate, you're not going to be able to educate. And here's the deal. You know, I hop on this all the time. The reason I do that is because it helped me. Now, you know, it doesn't matter how long you've been in marketing, how long you've been in the business, what you've been doing, you can always learn something, and it might change the total way that you conduct your business. It did that for me. And what I mean by it totally changed it, well, my vernacular changed, my language changed, my thought pattern changed. And remember, Einstein talked about, you know, it's not just about thinking, but it's the training of the mind. Now, the way your mind works, guess what? You're going to put that on to other people. When you are interacting with people, based on your mind thought, your mind pattern, they're going to pick that up. And if they feel like they're being pressured, they're going to back away. If they're being lied to, they're going to back away, because guess what? They can feel and see exactly who and what you are. They can tell whether you're sincere. They can tell whether you're excited and you're really convinced and believe what you're telling them. And all that comes in how you communicate. And this is why we say, you know, Joe and I say all the time, the communication class is so important. because, before I got it, I had my 30 years plus in the business, but when I took the class and I kept taking it, it just became a part of me. And that's how I talk. That's how I communicate, whether I'm online or offline. If I meet somebody, and like I said, I like being out because I like, as they say, pressing the flesh and just talking to people because I love people and everything. And the first thing you do, you got to smile. In other words, you can't look grumpy and feel grumpy and want to talk to somebody because first of all, they're going to be scared of you. But if you smile, or you're just in the grocery store, for example, you're right around a register and everybody's getting their grocery, and somebody starts a conversation with you. You smile, say, "Hey, how you doing?" Mark Stevens. I live right around here. You live around here? Well, yeah, I just live right down the street. Great. I've been coming here quite a while. I see you from time to time, but I just never had a chance to really say hi to you. But we right here at the register at the same time, so I just want to let you know who I am. And then you get your groceries and they'll start a conversation. And then guess what? Eventually it gets around to asking you, well, hey, Mark, you usually around here? Well, you work around here too. What do you do? Well, I teach people how to have a successful business working from home. Have you ever had a successful business working from home? Doesn't matter whether they had or not. That's the communication. Well, I tried something once and, I thought about that, but no, I haven't. Well, you know what? My company is in a major expansion. Guess what? We're looking for people who are honest, ambitious, and work well with others, and are interested in having a business working from home. John, have you ever had a successful business working from home? No. Well, what I like to do, because I'm kind of in a rush right now, but let's just exchange information. And what I'll do is I'll call you and talk to you, or either send you some more information, and then we can explore the possibilities. Is that fair enough? Well, yeah, Mark, I think I'd like that. Well, here's my number, here's my email address and my phone number. And another thing is, if they're going to give it to me, I'm looking down. I always keep paper with me. I'm looking down and I'm writing while they're talking to me. And if they don't give me that number, and I said, what did you say that number was? And they didn't give me the number, but then guess what they'll do? They'll give you the number. And the thing is how you interact with them and how you communicate with them. And you can do that anywhere. I don't care if it's a post office, a grocery store, you're sitting down and eating. I've sat out in a restaurant before and sat there, and then guess what? People are always observing. They're observing who's there, what people look like, what they're wearing, how they look, how they do their hair. All these things, believe it or not, people are looking at. And then they wonder, if you're sharply dressed, they wonder, well, what does that man do? Or what does that woman do? And then what you'll find out is that while you're eating, you look up and you find people staring at you sometime. And the thing is, how are you going to handle that? And then you might be with a partner or somebody talking to them, and you're talking, and you might have somebody in a booth right next behind you or in front of you. So you don't talk too loud, but you talk a little loud so they can hear. And you talk about different things, and you might talk a little bit about your business, and then you kind of observe people, and somebody will stop you and say, well, excuse me, I wasn't eavesdropping, but I just happened to overhear you. What's this that you're talking about? Preserving assets and things like that. How do you do that? Well, hi, my name is Mark Stevens, and you are? Joe Shute. Hey, Joe, you live around here? I don't live too far from here. I come here often to eat. This is the first time I've seen you here. Do you come here often to eat? Well, no, I live on the other side of town. But what you talked about, I heard you talking about sounds interesting. Well, what do you do? Well, I teach people how to have a successful business working from home. Have you ever had a successful business working from home? No, I haven't. Well, I tell you what, if you want to exchange information with me, I'll get some information to you, and we can talk a little bit, and I'll explain to you what we do, and we'll explore the possibilities. So what I'm saying is the same thing all the time, but you use it and use it and use it. And if you use it that way, it becomes what we call second nature to you. That's all you know. And that's all I know. I know the old stuff because I used to teach it. But then when you learn what really works, then you throw the other stuff out and you use what really works. And once I took the communication class, it was like, voila, everything opened up. And that's all I use now. And it works. And the thing is, it doesn't push people away, but it draws them to you. So, again, I want to encourage you to, if you haven't taken a communication class, take it. If you have taken it, take a refresher course. Work something out with Joe, and you might want to take a refresher course. And I tell you, in this day and time, you have to know how to communicate. Terminology and perception, what? It has to make sense. How and what you say to a person, if it doesn't make sense to them, they don't want to be bothered. And I can tell you now, the baby boomers, they are having a tough time. Have you walked to a McDonald's lately, or a Kmart, or whatever those different stores are, and you see people, older people, they're working. You know why they're working? Because their retirement didn't work out. They bought into the 40-40-40 plan, and it didn't work out. So they are looking for something. And the thing about it is that they can do better working and doing what we do and working from home, as opposed to working for $8 or $9 an hour, in a place like that. The millennials, they don't know what to do with themselves. They see their parents, the baby boomers, they see them struggling now. And so they're like this. Well, I don't want to put my money in the stock market. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to work with this supervisor from hell. I want my own business. So what I'm saying, and the reason I'm telling you that just like this, is that they're out there, and they're out there in droves. But guess what? You have to know how to communicate with them, because you have some smart, as they say, smart cookies out there that are looking for a business, but they're looking for the right business. And if you think about the business that we have, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best, if not the best business in the world. We have a business that you don't have to store. Well, like I said, I want to be garage qualified, and a lot of you know what that means. But it's not lotions and potions and things like that, but it's something that's going to benefit them now, tomorrow, and down the road, and a legacy for their family as well. So again, in order to make this work for you, you have to understand marketing. Marketing is what we do to get our information in front of people. Then you have to learn how to communicate, and you have to learn how to connect. And then the other thing is that in addition to that, you have to have a marketing system, a la our Tools Rock. So that's what I put together. I put together the Tools Rock marketing system. I put together the communication class, and that's all I do. But the other thing too is I make it fun, because sometimes I get crazy. Sometimes, and I don't advise you to try this, but that's just me, because I know how to handle it. I walk in a bank, and I have this little kit I put together. I have a card in a wooden box that I got from Karatbars, and I have my Karatbars card in there. I have a $100 bill in there on one side and a $2 bill on the other side. Why do I have that? Well, we know that the dollar since 1913 has devaluated about 98%. So $100 back then is only worth $2 today. So I set that on the banker's desk, and I open it up, and I don't say anything. And then I'll point to the $100 bill, and I ask the banker, Mr. Banker, what is that? Of course they're gonna say, well, that's money. That's a $100 bill. That's money. I say, well, no, it's not. I said, then I point to the Karatbars card. I say, now that's money. And they'll say, well, what is that? And I let them pick it up. And I don't say anything until they say, well, what is that gold? Some will say, is that gold? Some won't say anything. They don't know what it is. But my point is, because we got about 3 minutes now, my point is, it gets their attention, and it starts the conversation. And then I use what I learned in the communication class to have that conversation with them. I can't talk to the bank and give them all the details right there, because first of all, they're at work conducting their business. So again, Mr. Banker, I got one quick question, and then we'll explore the possibilities, and then we maybe can get back together and do that. If I can show you a way to benefit from the greatest transfer of money that mankind has ever known, is there any reason, I don't ask, would you like to? I say, is there any reason that you wouldn't want to be a part of that and benefit from that? Well, yes. How do we do that? Well, here's what I'm gonna do. Let's exchange information. And what I'll do is I'll send you some information, or I'll call you, and what we'll do, I'll get you the information, then we can explore the possibilities. Because guess what? My company's in a major expansion. We're looking for people who are honest, ambitious, and work well with others, and who are interested in having a successful business working from home. Mr. Banker, have you ever had a successful business working from home? So you see what I've done twice with two different types of people. And you can do that with everybody. So again, Joe, that's how we communicate, is it not?
It is exactly how we communicate, and I'm getting it. Let me see. Hang on. Let me see. Huh. Are we echo?
I don't hear an echo right now.
I got it. Control. There we go. All right. Look, that's exactly how we communicate. There are three people that I see on the call that work together with exactly what you're doing right now. And let me say this to Mary, Cindy, and Vicky. They came out of the communication class recently, and they're working together. I know they are. I get phone calls from them telling me we're about to have a session. We're working. Let me say this to you. You couldn't have asked for a better lesson today to listen to what you should sound like. This is exactly what you have to sound like when you walk into, and the only way you're going to do that is understand what you're doing. It's the training of the mind to think. That's what you have to act like. That's what you have to know what you're going to do, no matter what question comes up, no matter what the person says to you outside or on the phone. But since we're talking about outside, there's nothing to be afraid of, except if you don't know your material. You can see that you're not going to have Mark Stevens stumble. Not going to happen, because he knows what he wants to do. He knows what he's looking for. He knows the direction he wants to go. And it's simple. And you know what? You're going to get no. You're going to get no's. No, I never thought about that. In fact, I'm happy with my job. Great. You know, okay, well, I understand. And then, of course, I know what would happen. Well, who do you know that would be interested in a career change for the right money? And look for a referral of some sort. That's how you close it. You don't just say, well, okay, geez, sorry, I just lost. I don't feel good. You wouldn't do that. You would learn a way to do that. You would learn how to, close that out. And speaking of closing it out, Mark, great job today. I would encourage everybody to go in there and all right, sorry about that, a little disturbance. But I would encourage everybody, send your people to this call today. Go to the recording. You go to YouTube, look for me on there, Joe Shoop. You'll find the recording, and you'll be good to go. So go ahead, get people to go listen to that, and you'll be good to go. Mark, phenomenal job today. Couldn't have asked for a better job. Have a great day, everybody. Mark, want to say a few more words or a few closing words?
Yes, I would. I'd like to encourage everybody, the people that are on your team, talk to them about you taking that communication class, because if you all get on the same page and you all are saying and doing the same thing, then you can grow your business quicker and better. Again, communication is very important. Education is very important. The training of the mind is very important, because if you know what to say and when to say it, then you can get and you can talk to a lot of people. And by the way, you can use this online or offline. That's the beautiful part about it. Doesn't matter where you are and who you're talking to. Everything, the rules are the same. They still apply and everything. And and those of you that have taken a communication class, dust it off, look at it again. And like I say, get together with Joe and talk to him, because you bring a group of people, Joe will look out for you and make it better. So, you might want to get your whole team to do it, to take a class together and then work with each other and get ready, because this is the season. Actually, this is the season for bringing people into your business. The summer is over now. It's fall now, and kids are in school. People are looking for things to do even more to supplement their income, and you have everything that you need to do that. Just take advantage of it. That's it for me, John.
Have a great day, everybody. As people get to that recruitment, we look forward to seeing you again next week at the Breakfast Club. Have a great day, everybody.